Can we have the parties identified?
Your Honor, Jim Tyree for the department, along, I'm looking for it with Abigail Cecilia as the caseworker. I don't
Todd
know if I'm
Cogdill
seeing.
filling in as supervisor for Jasmine Devereaux.
Jim Shaw, attorney for the father.
Linda Ebling for the mother. I'm not sure if she's present or not.
And Cynthia Terso, appearing on behalf of Alicia Walker, attorney ad litem for the children. Present and ready.
Sorry, Carrie Peoples Casa.
I do see Ms. Castro present. Okay, what is the status of service on the parents?
I'm sorry, Judge, could you say that again?
Sure. What is the status of service on the parents?
Judge, I believe we have both served, although I don't have a note on my file as to the date.
Okay. All right. Tell me about Novelty. Is Novelty still in the fictive kin home? Who's the worker?
Judge, Abigail Cecilia is the worker, Judge, and I'm still not seeing her on the screen.
Here she comes.
She's currently placed in a fictive kin home and health center.
Still with the mother's husband's sister?
Correct, yes.
Okay, what is her name?
Nikki is the first name. Juarez is the last name.
All right, do we have the home study back on this family?
Not yet.
Okay, tell me about Novelty. How is she doing in that home?
She's doing good. She likes it when they read to her, and she has a play, like a phone, that she likes to pretend that she's having conversations with. She has 2 weekly visits with mom that are supervised by Miss Nikki. She's a little bit underweight, but they're not concerned about that. They are watching that, though, and she has no other health concerns.
Okay, are there concerns with the home study? I ordered that back in November, so I'm a little concerned about how long that's taking.
I haven't seen anything about it. I don't know if maybe my supervisor has it and she has to approve it.
Okay, but do we have any concerns with the home or the placement at all?
Not as far as I'm aware, no.
Okay, Miss Walker, or I guess there was somebody covering for Miss Walker.
Yes, Judge. I have no concerns at this time with the child's current placement. Obviously, I'd like to see that home study as soon as it's done.
Casa, concerns with Novelty or the placement?
Judge, there's no concern. She seems to be doing really well and bonded with this family.
All right. Ms. Castro, can you unmute yourself for me?
Hey.
Do you have any concerns regarding Novelty?
No, ma'am.
Okay, great. Mr. Shaw, any concerns on behalf of Mr. Sistro?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, I had ordered a paternity test for Mr. Sistrunk. What is the status of that? Do we know if he has taken that?
Judge, I had seen. Oh.
I know it's set for January 5th.
Okay. All right. Have we developed a plan of service for the parents?
Yes, we have.
All right. What are we asking Ms. Castro to do in this case?
We are asking her to refrain from any criminal activities. We're asking her to maintain a legal source of income. We're asking her to obtain a residence for at least 6 months. We're asking her to schedule weekly visits with Novelty. We're asking her to maintain a drug-free lifestyle, her to stay informed with all of Novelty's medical stuff. We're asking her to participate in individual counseling. And we're asking her to do a face-to-face with the permanency specialist monthly. And then she has a doctor's appointment coming up, and we're asking her to update us on any medication changes. And we're also asking her to participate in women's group as well.
Okay. Ms. Eveline, any issues with that plan?
No, Your Honor, we were involved in developing the service plan.
Okay, and tell me what Ms. Castro is working on right now. What all has she gotten started on?
She is working on individual therapy. I have not received anything from the therapist yet. She has a job, but I have not received anything like a schedule or anything like that yet. I know she was working on housing. The parent support worker brought her a packet for her to work on for the housing, and she is having twice a week visits with Miss Novely.
Okay, those going well?
Yes.
Good. All right. Ms. Castro, anything to add to that?
I am working at Arby's, and I won't get my new schedule until this afternoon or tomorrow morning.
Okay. All right, very good. It's a good start, Ms. Castro. All right, what about Mr. Seastrunk? I believe he is incarcerated. Tell me, what are we asking him to do in this case?
We're asking him to refrain from any criminal activity. We're asking him once he's released to obtain and maintain a legal source of income. We're asking him to have a residence for 6 months or more. We're asking him to schedule weekly visits with Novely. We're asking him to maintain a drug-free lifestyle. We're asking him for a paternity test, and then if he does test positive on any drug test, we're asking him for an OSAR as well.
Mr. Shaw?
Judge, based on the fact that he's in jail, in prison, and not to being projected to be released till 2029, and also that we don't even have him established as the father, I would ask that the requirements for individual counseling and the things that he is not able to do being incarcerated not be included as a court order at this time.
Yeah, I will order a paternity test, which is going to be done. And then if he is released, we'll circle back to his plan of service and go over what he's going to do. Mr. Shaw, do we know any sort of proposed release date?
Well, yeah, he's eligible for release in August of 2025. And then the projected release date is February of 29.
Okay. Let's just see if there are any services available to Mr. Sistrunk in the prison that he is located, and see if we can send him parenting packets, if he can get involved in those sort of classes where he is, and let's add those to the plan of service. But other than that, we will wait until he is released. Okay. Anything else on Novely?
No, ma'am.
No, Your Honor.
All right. I will set this for an initial permanency hearing April the 24th at 9.
Your Honor, Jim Tyree for the department, along with Veronica Ramirez.
Karen Minter, attorney ad litem.
Jim Shaw, attorney for the father.
Cynthia Terso appearing on behalf of Alicia Walker for the mother, Brittany Salazar, present and ready.
All right, Mr. Tyree, what is the status of service on these parents?
Your Honor, Ms. Salazar has appeared, and I believe that Ms. Walker waived any issues with service. Mr. Palmer has been served, I know, but I don't know that I don't think I have that noted in my file as to a date. I believe we may have requested service on Ms. Salazar just to have that, but I don't see that returned yet.
Okay, tell me about ACE. Where is ACE placed?
Your Honor, Ace is currently placed with Elizabeth Kelly, maternal grandmother, where he's doing wonderful on target. Medical and dental is current. He's doing really good. He's eating good, sleeping good, and there are no concerns.
Okay, we had, the last time we were in court in November, we had an open investigation on the grandmother's home. Has that been resolved?
Yes.
Okay, no issues there?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Has the mother moved out of that home?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Minter, any concerns with ACE?
No, Your Honor, no concerns.
All right. Ms. Terso, any concerns on behalf of Ms. Salazar?
None at this time, Judge.
Mr. Shaw, any concerns on behalf of Mr. Palmer?
No, Your Honor, he was established as the father, and he indicated that if he was the father, then he would support placement with the grandmother.
Okay, Mr. Tyree, did I do an order adjudicating him?
Your Honor, you have not. We received the paternity testing results after our last hearing, but it did come back that he's not excluded, so we would ask you to adjudicate him.
Okay, I will do that, but I think it would be good if you sent me an order for the file.
Yes, ma'am, we will.
Okay, very good. Anything else regarding ACE?
No, Your Honor, he's doing great. There are no concerns as of right now.
Okay, very good. Tell me about Ms. Salazar's plan of service. What are we asking Ms. Salazar to do?
We're asking Ms. Salazar to maintain legal income for a minimum of 6 months, to participate individual where parenting will be addressed as well, stay actively on her medications. We're asking Ms. Salazar to comply with any medication change and show verification to caseworker. We're asking Ms. Salazar to engage in medication education discussions with her provider, asking Ms. Salazar to maintain a drug-free lifestyle, to participate in visitation with her child. We're asking Ms. Salazar to have face-to-face contact with the department monthly. We're asking Ms. Salazar to obtain and maintain a safe and stable housing for a minimum of 6 months. And we're asking Ms. Salazar to refrain from any criminal activity.
Ms. Terso, any issues with the plan of service?
No, Your Honor, no issues.
All right. Has Ms. Salazar gotten started on any of those things? What is she working on?
She has, Your Honor. She has started individual and parenting with Mr. Colin Parent. She started on November 28th.
Okay. Is she consistent in her appointments?
She has been.
Good. All right. What about Mr. Palmer?
We're asking Mr. Palmer to obtain and maintain legal income for a minimum of 6 months, to show verification to the department. We're asking Mr. Palmer to participate in individual counseling where parenting will be addressed and follow any recommendations. We're asking Mr. Palmer to complete an OZAR. If positive, to follow any recommendations. We're asking Mr. Palmer to maintain a drug-free lifestyle. We're asking Mr. Palmer to participate in visitation with his child. We're asking Mr. Palmer to have a monthly face-to-face contact with the department. And we're asking Mr. Palmer to obtain and maintain a safe and stable housing for at least 6 months. However, he is incarcerated, here at the Lubbock County Jail. I believe a packet has been sent to him to start at least individual parenting.
All right, Mr. Shaw?
Again, Your Honor, my client is incarcerated. He's got minimal resources. The parenting packet would be great. Right now, he's charged with assault with a deadly weapon. Everett Seymour is his attorney. They've got a PNC for January the 24th of next year. And he's also got a parole violation and another misdemeanor for evading. So he's got quite a bit on his plate right now.
Okay, I will approve the plan of service that includes services that Mr. Palmer is able to do in jail, or if he goes to prison, any services available in prison on his plan of service. Okay, and if he is released, we will revisit that plan of service and make sure that we get him hooked up in services as soon as he's released. Okay, anything else?
Yeah.
All right, I will set this for an initial permanency hearing, March the 27th. The parties identified. 9.
Your Honor, Jim Tyree for the department, along with Chelsea Vasquez.
Karen Minter, present for Angelica Martinez.
Cynthia Terso, present on behalf of Alicia Walker for the child.
Okay, what is the status of service on the parents?
Your Honor, Ms. Martinez was served on October 11th, 2023, and Mr. Alcala was finally served on November the 1st, 2023.
All right. Tell me about Ms. Martinez's progress in this case.
Okay. She's still doing very well. She's in inpatient treatment and she should be released, I believe, January the 20th. She's been negative on all of her drug tests for us. And right now she is applying for different jobs. She's still working, but she's trying to get a better paying job. She has been approved for housing. She's just on a waiting list to get an apartment. So she's hoping that she has that apartment in place whenever she does get released from treatment, but she's doing very well, cooperating 100% with CPS as well as St. Francis.
Okay, very good. Do we have a report from the other side of things, the family center treatment folks?
Yes, ma'am. She is doing awesome. We've been working on budgeting skills. I helped her apply for a new job, a better paying job. And Your Honor, she did ask for an extension in the Serenity Center. They have not granted it to her yet. We're still waiting to hear back. Like Chelsea said, she's been passing all of her drug tests. I have been helping her. I helped her file a report on identity theft. And we've been talking about her goals. And I helped her write a letter to open up as soon as our program is done to kind of like have motivation to reach her goals.
Okay. Very good. When is her treatment completed at Serenity if she does not get the extension?
January 20th will be her last day here, I believe.
Okay. So between now and then, we need to work on finding a job and housing.
Yes. So she is still working at Burger King. And if there is not an extension, then she will be going to live with her parents, as there is a safety plan as of right now where she cannot be alone with Jasper.
Okay. Is Jasper currently living with her at Serenity?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. It's kind of strange with the TFF part with where we're not in a home. Can you tell me what phase we're in the TFF program?
Yes, ma'am. We're in phase 2 restructuring.
Okay. Very good. Okay. Good report. It sounds like Mom is fully participating. What about Mr. Alcala?
We have not had any contact with him at this time. He doesn't have visitation with Jasper. I'm not sure if Angelica has been able to get a hold of him, but CPS has not at this time.
Okay. St. Francis, you folks having any luck finding Dad?
No.
Okay. All right. Let's just make sure that if Mr. Alcala is not going to participate in services, that he does not have any contact with the child. If we get news of any contact, let Mr. Tyree know as soon as you can.
Okay.
Okay. I will set another compliance review hearing January the 24th at 9.
Your Honor, Jim Tyree for the department along with Pamela Pierce.
Cynthia Tracy. I'm sorry, go ahead, Jim.
Jim Shaw representing the father.
Erin Mentor, attorney ad litem.
Cynthia Terso on behalf of the mother, Zoe Armstrong, and I do see that she is in the virtual courtroom today, present and ready.
Okay, Mr. Tyree, what is the status of service on these parents?
Your Honor, Ms. Armstrong was served on September 27th, 2023, and Mr. Ortega was served on November 1st, 2023.
Okay, how is Ms. Armstrong doing in services?
She is actually doing very well. She has been, she had negative drug test. She has started counseling. She missed her appointment on the 14th. I transport to those and I had the flu, so I was not able to take her. She did call and get rescheduled for tomorrow, and I will take her for that. She has been working on her drug education, which was recommended by her counselor, and she has been addressing mental health by taking her medications and keeping her appointments.
Okay, very good. Ms. Terso, anything on behalf of Ms. Armstrong?
No, Judge. I know initially Ms. Armstrong was traveling prior to our last hearing, so I'm very happy that she's hit the ground running and really put in a good amount of work to jumpstart this.
All right, Ms. Armstrong, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell me what you're learning so far?
That I really just kind of need to get with it and continue working towards a better future for me and my daughter. There's nothing more important than my daughter, and it's going to continue to stay that way.
Okay, where are you working?
I haven't found a job yet, but I'm looking into working at Walmart.
All right, where are you staying?
In my home.
Okay, do you have contact with Mr. Ortega?
I do.
Does he live there too?
Not anymore. He right now is in a hospital. He went off of his medication, so he's getting some mental help for that.
Okay, what about your own medications? Are you doing a good job staying on your medications and keeping up with your appointments with your doctors?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, is there anything else that you want to tell me about anything that you might be learning in your services?
I have been learning how to take it easy on myself, learning to roll with mistakes that I have made and learn from those mistakes instead of wallowing in pity for it.
Okay. What about Mr. Ortega's progress?
He did go to the first counseling appointment, and he has also tested negative on his drug tests. We're probably going to need to revisit. I will revisit with him when he gets out of the hospital. At this point, it looks like he's going to be going to a shelter.
Mr. Shaw?
He is not the father of Clementine.
Okay. Mr. Shaw?
Judge, I don't have any additional information at this point.
Okay. Anything else on Clementine? All right. I'll have another compliance review hearing January the 24th at 9. Houston Gonzalez Gomez. Let me have the parties identified.
Your Honor, Jim Tyree for the department along with Pamela Pierce.
Aaron Minter present for the father, Keeson Gonzalez, and I see he's also present as well.
Cynthia Terso present for the mother, Zelma Arias, and I believe she is present in the virtual courtroom as well.
Jim Shaw, attorney ad litem.
Okay, what is the status of service on these parents?
Your Honor, both parents were served on July the 7th, 2023.
All right, tell me how they are doing in services.
They are actually doing very well. Salma has completed everything the department has asked of her. I received word that the family center treatment looks to be wrapping up their part. So I mean, I have no concerns about her. Keeson was able to be released on probation last week. He will be able to work services through his probation officer and their program. He did continue working through the drug meetings and the anger management while he was in jail, and he does look to move to continue those services once, now that he's out.
Okay, from the family centered treatment folks, how do we feel about Ms. Arias's progress and services through that program?
I just got Salma's case a couple weeks ago. The previous worker, I worked very close with her, so I was able to track some of Salma's progress. And I'm very pleased with how much progress she has made. She's doing everything that I've asked her to. We are currently working on boundaries healthy boundaries, routines, how to say no, and building up her self-confidence.
Okay. All right, very good. Ms. Arias, can you unmute yourself for me?
Yeah.
Tell me what you've learned. It sounds like both sides of your program are very pleased with your progress. Tell me what all you have learned in this.
I learned red flags, and I'm learning about boundaries. I'm learning what else? I'm learning routines, morning and night routines, to fit like things I can do more with my baby. I've been reading him books or cooking him breakfast in the morning, and building self-confidence right now.
Okay, you mentioned the word red flag. Can you give me an example of a red flag?
Red flag, easily angered and possessive.
Okay. Tell me where you are in your relationship with Mr. Gonzalez Gomez.
As of right now, there's a protective order, so there's not really a relationship. I guess just co-parenting through CPS.
Okay, what if CPS is not involved? How are you going to co-parent with Mr. Gonzalez Gomez?
With the crisis center.
All right. From the department's perspective, do we feel comfortable that Ms. Arias is able to protect herself and her child at this point?
Yes, Your Honor. She has already set up a plan. Her work is aware, her mother, her roommate, that there is a 2-year protective order, and that should there be any contact, they will report to law enforcement.
Okay. Mr. Barry, do we want to continue on with these hearings?
Your Honor, it sounds like we're about to the end of things, so I don't, unless my client jumps up and down and tells me differently, I'm not sure that there's a need. I know Ms. Arias has done very well during this time, so I'm not sure we need any more hearings.
Okay, does everybody else agree?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Shaw?
Well, I'm kind of concerned in that he has just been released on the 12th of December. I mean, I think I would ask for another hearing.
Okay, I will set it for another review hearing January 24th at 9. Tell me what Mr. Gonzalez Gomez is doing in services through the probation department.
I'm not aware of what he's being asked to do, but he may know. He's here.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm doing, they have me on anger management classes, and that I'll take, and then that set me up with getting my diploma and stuff, and taking courses on that.
Okay. Since he was just released, Ms. Pierce, what are we asking Mr. Gonzalez Gomez to do as far as services?
In the original family plan we had, when he got out, that he would be completing the BIP program and individual counseling.
Okay, we'll address the anger through therapy. I know BIP is a 26-week program, and I'm guessing that Mr. Gonzalez can't pay for that right now, so we'll address that through anger management and see how we do with that. Okay, but you both need to understand that you need to comply with that protective order and stay away from each other. You both understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You both need to understand that if either one of you violates that protective order, I imagine these children are going to come into foster care. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so whatever y'all need to do, work it out in therapy, whatever you need to do to try to comply with that protective order and learn from what's happened in the past and learn how to have healthy relationships is what you need to do from this point forward. But I'm also concerned about the recent release and think we need another hearing just to make sure that we're all on the same page. So I will set it for another review hearing January the 24th at 9. Please identify. Okay, thank you.
Your Honor, Jim Tyree, excuse me, for the department along with Pamela Pierce.
Aaron Mentor present for the mother, Alexis Somerville.
Cynthia Terso, present for the Somerville children.
Okay, what is the status of service on Ms. Somerville?
Your Honor, she was served on August 14th, 2023.
All right, tell me how Ms. Somerville is doing in services.
She's doing very well, Your Honor. She is working through, or she has worked through the counseling and everything that we had asked her to do. And then we did receive word from St. Francis that she would be wrapping up their program around January 3rd. She has also had every drug test that we have given her has been negative for anything.
All right, very good. St. Francis, you folks agree?
Yes, ma'am. I think she's been doing really well. They've been able to step up and make decisions in their sessions for themselves without needing any interference from me.
All right, very good. Ms. Somerville, can you unmute?
Okay.
Tell me how you're doing in the program. What do you think that you have learned, and how has this helped you?
I'm doing good. I mean, with the counseling, I've learned that a lot of things you can't change other people. I have to do what's best for me and my kids. I took it hard on myself, thinking everything was my fault, but I took my part in whatever I did, but I know wasn't just my fault, and I'm learning to find myself. At first, I was so hurting. Well, why is all this happening to me? But I learned we make our mistakes and we learn from our mistakes. And with the counseling and with Pamela and with Hannah and with Kimberly, we do activities, and I'm learning how to, the activities that we do, it's showing me ways to cope with all the different stuff that I didn't have the coping skills to deal with. I would be sad all the time. I would be depressed because of things I was going through. I fought it myself, but like I said, I took my part, but I can't just fight myself and dwell in the past. I have to see what's ahead of me, my kids, and with my family. I've had multiple support. Like I said, with my family, St. Francis, Pamela, I've had a lot of support, and I've learned a lot of coping skills, how to deal with different situations. With St. Francis, the skills they gave me to cope with. Even when everything is done, I have all those coping skills to deal with the things I didn't have before, to cope with all the things I was going through.
Okay, what do you think about drug use? How does that affect your parenting and your children?
I learned that I don't need that to deal with things. I was doing it to please a person, and I've learned I have all the love that I need from my family. I had that all along, but I was trying to do a drug to get with that person and be on that person's page, but I've learned I don't have to do that. And with me not doing the drug use, I've learned a lot of things. I've got full time on my job, and things are just falling in place for me and my kids. And I don't have that desire for that drug, for no type of drug, because I have all the support I need.
Okay, very good. All of that sounds very good.
And also I know that was hurting me, and it was taken from my life by me doing that, and I'm taking from my kids. So I learned I don't need that just to deal with the things in life.
Okay, all of that sounds very good. Mr. Tyree, do we need any more hearings for Ms. Somerville?
You're all right. To me, it doesn't sound like it. I know we don't have another parent involved in this case, and I mean she's it. So I think she's doing very well, and I don't. Unless my client is going to wave her hand and say something differently, I think we're good.
Looks like everybody's smiling. Ms. Terso, you feel good about dismissing on this?
Yes, Your Honor. I think Ms. Somerville has done a fantastic job, and it sounds like she has some really powerful and impactful takeaways from her time in the services.
Okay, Ms. Somerville, I'm very proud of you. I hope that CPS never has to be involved in your life again. It sounds like you're on good track for that. So I'm going to dismiss your case. Congratulations.
Thank you. And thank you for everybody for the support you've given me.
All right, very good. Mr. Tyree, send me a dismissal on that one.
Yes, ma'am. We will do that.
All right. Good luck to you, ma'am. Bobby Bentel.
Thank you.
Let me have the parties identified, and we'll be adjourned.
Your Honor, Jim Tyree for the department, along with Chelsea Boskus.
Jim Shaw representing the father.
Erin Minter, attorney ad litem.
Okay, on this one, did we dismiss? The plan, I think, was at that first hearing to do a hair strand and a UA, and if he was clean, we were going to dismiss this one. Is that what happened?
Your Honor, that did not happen. The drug test results came back positive. Let's see.
Okay, what are we asking Mr. Bentel to do in services?
Mr. Bentel will be completing drug testing. He will be completing individual counseling and substance abuse classes with Richard Gatlin. And he's also going to be doing parenting through Fatherhood Fire.
Okay, has he started any of those things?
He has had 2 negative drug tests since my case started. We were a little late getting the services going because of the holidays, and I also was out with the flu. But he has been referred to Richard Gatlin and Fatherhood Fire, and those should be getting started pretty soon if they have not already.
All right, Mr. Shaw, anything to add on behalf of Mr. Bentel?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
Okay, and what about Mom?
We're not asking Mom to work services at this time.
Okay. All right, anything else on Bentel?
No, ma'am.
All right, I will set another review hearing January the 24th at 9. Okay, thank y'all.